Hello, friends. It's Carla, your online doctor, with today's Live in 5. Today is Thursday, September 17th at 5 p.m. So, first, I just want to say I will not be live tomorrow, Friday the 18th, or Monday, September 21st. So, I will be back on Tuesday. Okay, so just wanted to give that update. Okay, so the first thing we talked about yesterday, we were talking about flu in South America and the Southern Hemisphere and the risk of co-infections with COVID and the flu and all of that stuff. So we started talking about the flu vaccine. So the first thing to consider when discussing the flu vaccine this year is that normally our vaccine here in the United States is based on the most common genetic variants of influenza that existed in the Southern Hemisphere during their flu season. So, with so few cases in the Southern Hemisphere, they will be the ability for them to accurately determine what strains to use in a vaccine here is going to be very challenging. Okay, in the past, most flu vaccines have less than a 50% efficacy, I guess that's the word, meaning equal to a coin toss. And it's actually probably even lower than that. Most of the studies I've seen that have shown the actual percentage effectiveness for each year, it's been about 35 to 40%. So you're better off tossing a coin because that would at least give you a 50-50 chance. Now, this year, it is likely to be significantly even lower because when they were doing an educated guess on what strains we might get, at least it was an educated guess. Now it's kind of just literally a total guess. So, what about the concern that the flu vaccine can increase your risk of getting COVID-19? A 2010 review showed that in 2008-2009 flu season, people who received the influenza vaccine were between 1.4 and 2.5 times more likely to get infected with pandemic H1N1. In all 5 studies in the review, the results were the same. There was an increased risk. Now, animal studies at that time also showed worse symptoms after subsequent exposure to H1N1 flu. So, if COVID-19 is anything like that, that could be a bad thing. Now, what may have happened is that antibody-dependent enhancement that we talked about on Monday and Tuesday. So, cross-reactive antibodies from the flu vaccine were present, recognized the H1N1 virus, but were at low levels and non-neutralizing. So we're not able to get rid of the virus, but actually facilitated viral entry into the cells. Again, this is what we do not want. Now, so what about COVID-19? Is there any evidence to suggest influenza vaccines might make you more susceptible to this pandemic virus? Now, so far, no one has looked at this virus specifically in any studies, but there are recent findings showing seasonal flu vaccines can worsen coronavirus infections in general. Okay, so we have to always assume that COVID-19 is going to act like other coronaviruses until proven otherwise. Now, remember, COVID is one of the 7 different coronaviruses known to cause respiratory illnesses in humans. Okay, so this is not something that is new. We recognize that. Now, a study published in January 2020 found people were more likely to get some form of a coronavirus infection if they had been vaccinated against influenza in the previous months. Okay? Those who had received the seasonal flu shot were 36% more likely to contract coronavirus and 51% more likely to contract a different metapneumonia virus than unvaccinated individuals. Again, these are respiratory viruses. So if they're showing an increased risk in people who are vaccinated, it might not be a good thing. Needless to say, there's no telling what the effects might be if people are vaccinated against the flu, and also they go and get the new up and coming COVID-19 vaccine in the same season. We don't know how those two vaccines will interact in the person. Remember, when they're doing these studies on the vaccines, they are not doing them simultaneously. They are doing them isolated for just that vaccine to see if there's any bad results or any, untoward effects. So we don't know the ramifications of a COVID-19 vaccine yet by itself. So adding in a flu vaccine at the same time could really stir the pot. Okay, so I'm not telling you not to get the flu vaccine. Okay, but I would definitely discuss it with your medical provider and look at all the information, look at all your options before making any type of decision. But whatever you do, make sure your decision is an informed decision. Don't follow the media. Don't follow social media. Don't follow the news networks. Don't listen to a friend who told you otherwise. And you don't even have to listen to me. I'm just giving you some information to think about, look up. There's a lot of information online that you can find. Make sure you're finding it in science journals, not blog posts. So, you can go to PubMed and make sure that you're finding legitimate sources. Or, again, ask your medical provider. If they just say, yes, get the vaccine, and you pose a question and they still say, yes, get the vaccine, ask them why. Ask them what the risks are of getting it in combination with another vaccine, all the things that you want to know. And if they can't give you adequate information and adequate answers, keep searching. That's all I can say. So on that note, I hope you guys have an awesome weekend. Again, I'll be back on Tuesday, September 22nd. I will be out tomorrow and Monday. And I hope you guys have an awesome time. And happy holidays to those of you celebrating Rosh Hashanah. Happy New Year. And I will see you guys next week. Take care.